Now, I discussed the beginning of my case and how it led up to that. I'm going to get to each step of my case and why it's also important for the whole psyche of America and just human in general. Because I think people think that when they do something to like one person, it's an isolated incident, and it's never going to be an isolated incident. If you don't believe me, I'm gonna give you an example. The Jewish population right now, the Zionists, right? Their ancestors were literally put into extermination camps, right? The US, Russia, all these people went over to Germany to stop the Nazis because, I mean, you can't do this to human beings. I mean, like, realistically, you cannot possibly do this to human beings. I don't care if you believe in God or not. You can't treat people like this, right? What happens years later? See, people think that we as people are people. We're not. We have a ball of energy. We're energy. We're just wearing like people bodies, but we're energy, y'all. And when you see, I can literally see the same energy in different people. See, a lot of people can't understand that. But if you is as sensitive as I am, you can see it. I can see the same energy in different people. Meaning that you're the same person. You're going to do the same thing. And I can predict what you're going to do. I can see a good person literally from their thing now. Like from the way they look now. And I can also see when they're in a glow mode, like when they're in a like mode, like when they're hitting every good thing back to back to back. And what I want people to understand is that we are, if you look at everything from the sense of energy, vibration, things like that, you can really never go wrong. Right now, as an example, right now I'm at the best, I'm in the best point in my life after going through one of the worst things that I've ever experienced. And what people will never be able to understand is, how do you get there? How do you get that? I could never, ever, ever go through betrayal, go through anything like that ever again. And you know why? It's not that I don't have any friends and stuff like that. It's that I can see it now. Like I literally can see. I can see it now. And I see what everything leads up to, and I understand it now. And now I'm truly a servant of God. I'm truly a believer. I'm truly of the mu'minun. And I don't think people will really be able to understand that. I'm truly an intimate friend of God. I'm a Khalilullah, like how Abraham was. And I don't think you can understand that. But I wanted to show you that when we went over there to save the Nazis, what happens when people get hurt, like, so we had generations, they were exterminated, things like that. So they're hurt. Instead of them practicing forgiveness and practicing an act of love, an act of, look, forgiveness, we're going to let this move on. What do? Years later, they take their hatred and their hurt and pain out on the Arabs in Gaza or other states like Egypt and Syria. People have to understand that this doesn't mean that they're the same Nazis. They're literally, the Jewish people are the Nazis now. You got to understand what I mean by that. That same energy just incapacitated another body. But that same energy is the same. And there's only one way you cannot kill your way out of this energy. I'm going to repeat this again so that the people in the back can hear me. You cannot kill your way out of this energy. See, y'all wouldn't be able to understand that because either you're murderers. I'm going to tell you the difference between a killer and a murderer. A killer is a person that kills and he's really good at it, but he protects what he believes in. He protects his principles. A murderer is a person that just murders and he ain't got no principle. He don't have nothing that he's standing for. He like a flag in the wind. He blowing from any place he want to. He don't have no principles. He's all about self. He's selfish as hell. His principle is basically self, if he had one. And I think that people cannot understand that a lot of y'all people have been bought and sold. Y'all are slaves now. And you're not slaves of God. That's one thing I love about Islam, because you say that you are Abdullah, or you're Abdullah, or you're Abdul, or it's servant of Allah. You're like a slave or a servant. And you really are a servant of God. And everybody on this planet, for some reason, they think that they're here and that they're going to be here. Like, this is where I'm at. So, I own this banana right here, and I'm going to own it forever, and nobody's going to come and take it from me. Or I'm going to own this, whatever here. And, you don't own nothing. You don't even own your body. You don't even own your body. Let me say that again for the people in the back. You don't even own the body that you're in. You don't even own the shell you in, you dickheads. You don't own nothing. This is how disgusting people have gotten nowadays, that they think that they own something. You're borrowing it for a little bit of time. God gave that to you. Enjoy it. But you don't own nothing. But there's nothing, you don't own nothing material or people wise or energy wise, but you do own something. And we're going to get to that. There's something that you do own that is inherently yours and is between you and God, because he made you in your image. And people really need to understand how serious that is, because when you start doing things, and I'm gonna break this down, when you start doing things to corrupt that, other people own it. That's what really selling yourself out is. Other people own it because you're at their whim. And there's only a few whims that I'm going to be at. As long as somebody is following and standing for what I believe in, which is greater than us both, I'm with it too. So I'll explain that to you. There's levels of principle. There's levels of loyalty and dedication. People are loyal to your religion or your country. This is a very, your ideals, your ideals, meaning that this could be religion, this could be your ideology, this could be things like that. This is why a lot of people have this capitalist or communist or these type of different Bolsheviks or the Lenin, Marxists, and things like that. These type of different ideologies, right? Then you got your religions and things like that. Then you got your country, which is the same thing as the ideology. So this is just something, or your philosophies. That idea is the most dedicated that you're going to be. This is the most rational that you're going to think about. Why do you think that people fight wars over ideology or religion? And then you have things that you dedicate yourself to that's kind of material, like country, things like that, land, geography, and or a position or whatever, space, whatever. And then you got your other things you fight for, like family, property, things like that. Now, these are important. They're important. And this is studied. The CIA, the FBI, the police, they study stuff like that. Well, mostly the higher people, not the police, because the police are pretty stupid. But they study things like this because they know that when you're willing to fight and die for something that you believe in, you're willing to ride for something that you believe in, they want to take you in. They're like, wow, this person's willing to not sway. He's not going to sway back and forth. He's going to stay where he's at. And when I say sway back and forth, you have to understand something. If I say I love my country, why do I love my country? Why do I love my family? Why do I love these things? Why do I love this? You have to understand why you love something. Why? And you love something more than likely because of how you found it when you got there. If you love this country right now, that's why some people have to read like the manuscript or these things like that, the manifesto, even by things, because you have to understand that. Or even how our founding fathers got this country into a country, how they took it from the Britons, or supposedly, because there is a supposing. I can really get in deep, but you have to understand that when we are fighting for something, we loved that thing in the space and position it was in when we found it. But what happens is things change. Some for the good, some for the better. And everybody has their own opinion about how the things change. But I'm going to explain something to you. There's something that I can guarantee you right now, as you are watching this joint right now, I can guarantee you. There's not a person in the United States of America that will tell you that there is something good in this country right now. Let me explain that again. Or let me ask you, what's good in this country right now? Socially, monetarily, anything, politically, anything, educationally. I can get financially, economically, anything. I can tell you right now, our country is missing every button, every height, every goal that we ever achieved to try to get to. Our country is missing every mark. Why is it missing every mark, yo? Why is that? Why is that, bro? Why is that? You know why? Because of y'all. Y'all lost y'all soul. Y'all corruptible. You, the person looking at this joint, you're corruptible, yo. And that's why I said that people, they love the people willing to fight for something. Because a person like me, I'm willing to fight for my country and what I believe in. Y'all not willing to do that. And we already know all the immigrants running to this country definitely not willing to do that. Because if they wasn't willing to fight for their country, where they came from, where they were at, then they not willing to fight for this one. They're going to run out of this joint back to where they came from. There's not no, this is a guarantee. This is not no opinion. They wasn't willing to fight for theirs. They love their country. And I bet you'll see them like wearing their own country flag over here in America. Now, I'm not saying this. This is not a bash on immigrants. I hope people can understand this. This is not a bash on immigrants. This is a assertion. This is basically a fact. I don't have to bash when you, and this is what I love. Let me explain something to you. Cat Williams said 2024 was the year of the truth. I'm speaking the truth. This is my year. This is my year. I've been home for a year now, almost a full year. This is my year. My year, because I speak the truth. I really speak the truth. Something you don't know nothing about. Y'all don't know nothing about the truth, but I speak it. And I'm about the truth, and I'm willing to die and fight for it. Now, y'all want to hold on to a lie or a figment of your imagination. It's good to hold on to dreams, as long as those dreams are achievable or accessible. And I'm not saying everything is not achievable. Anything in your imagination is achievable, and that's a very fact. The problem is that you people are bots. And you are just here to take up space, your shells. Y'all people are walking around dumb, deaf, and blind, and you don't know it. Y'all are bots. If I was y'all, first of all, I don't even know why y'all even vote now. Because voting is a lie. This is a figment of our imagination. If you think that we are basically able to control this type of stuff, you are dreaming. I found this out while studying law, by studying our Constitution. When I studied our Constitution, I found out that we don't actually have any rights. We don't. All those constitutional rights that you think that we got, at any given time, somebody could come and take them from you. And we don't have them no more. And some people have gotten the worst out of, especially criminal law. And I'm one of them. So I'm going to explain something to people so that they can understand. 2025 is a year of revenge. I want the people in the back to hear me. 2025 is a year of revenge. And it's the year of revenge for people that are stand up like me. All you people that think you got away with something, it's time to face your reaper. You're going to face your reaper, this one. This one is it. And what I mean by that is this. If you were one of them people that had ill intentions in your heart from the rip, if you're one of them people that had jealousy, envy, all these type of emotions, I was born without them. I was. I really was. That's wallahi. I was born without them things. I don't look at other people and be jealous of them. I'm not even jealous of the people that did dirt to me that's still around if they're doing well or whatever. I'm not even mad at that. I'm not even jealous of that. I don't look at them and be like, damn, he did dirty to me. You should be doing bad. I'm not mad at that because I know now what corruptible is. So when I see you, like when I see the girl that I put up there and I see that she went and got surgery on her body, I know what that is. I see, you gotta understand, this is real life. This is real stuff, y'all. This is real stuff. You gotta understand, like, we really live into this is realistic stuff, y'all. You gotta be stand up with this. And 2025 is the year of revenge, y'all. This is the year that people of higher standard, of higher morality is going to see the people come down. And when the same people that you see on your way down, they're on their way up. The same people when you're on your way up, they're going to be on your way down. And guess where I'm at? I'm on my way up, y'all. And I'm going to see y'all. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to wave to y'all. I'm not forgiving nothing. And nobody should. Nobody should. No. Let me rephrase that. Let me rephrase that. Wow. I'm not forgetting nothing. And nobody should. But, and this is something that I really should do at this joint. I forgive everybody. And I'm going to have to repeat that again. Forgiveness was one of the hardest things that I ever had to do in my life. But I forgive everybody. And you know why I forgive you? So this is something that people should go through, like past life regression, things like that. You should go through these type of things, hypnosis, or getting as high as you can to reach these levels, or even praying to reach these levels, or doing dancing to reach these levels, finding some way to reach these levels, meditating. Because when you reach these levels, you realize that we have a very specific and special place on this earth, but we also are part of it. And we're here to do really magnificent things, but you will be tried and you will be stopped. You have to understand that these people that hurt you or betrayed you, they have a position to play. They are villains, and you are a villain in some people's story too. You have to be able to accept that. But guess what the villain does? The villain prepares you. I just told a young lady today that there's a difference between snakes and sharks. She was holding a shark. She said she don't like snakes. I was like, well, damn, you don't like snakes, but you holding a shark in your hand. She was like, I can deal with sharks, but ew, I don't like slimy snakes. I was like, yo, it's crazy because snakes are slimy. In real life, I can deal with sharks because I can swim with them all day. You know what sharks do? Sharks prepare you for battle. In real life, sharks prepare you. They battle test you. You know what snakes do? Snakes bring you down. You know why? Because snakes are grimy and slimy. But you can't be like, I'm not afraid of both of them. But you have to be able to understand the position that these things play. These things are here. The snake will bring you down. The shark will build you up. Some of them will bring you down. But most of the time, if you're able to get into the pond with sharks, that means you was already a shark yourself. But a snake is in disguise. A snake, you never see a snake. When it bites you, boom, you're like, what the heck was that? That was a snake. You see what I'm saying? You don't know what you're dealing with. But some people keep the grass cut. Like now, I can just see it. I can see it. Like I don't need to keep grass cut and none of that. So I can just literally see that you was a snake. But when I was dealing with people on the higher scale, I couldn't see who was going to be the snake. But people are corruptible, and they will expose how corruptible they're to you as soon as you see it. And one of the things I always thought was sad was in my relationships with people, I was always there for them. I would lose my own meal. I would lose my own sleep. I would lose my own money to help these people. But that's something that they're not going to tell you. They're going to tell you the one thing I did bad to them. And I'm telling you, if I did something to them, which if it's true, if I did something to them, they did something 50 times to me. They mad now that I did something, one thing bad to them. And most of the people that did me dirty, they knew they was going to do me dirty. They was there just to sabotage me. See, you have to understand that. And I want people, look, forget the bull crap. Nobody else is doing this. Nobody else is coming on this joint and speaking anything positive or real. I'm making sure that nobody else gets snaked again. I'm giving you game. Something that should be sold and not told. I'm giving you real game. A lot of people ain't going to do that. They're going to run the game on you. I'm giving you real game. And I used to do that to all my women too. I give them real game. I'll show you how to survive out here. I give you real game. Because I'm not going to run it on you. I don't have to run it on you. What you got that I want? I want something that you have to give to me freely. It's like what God wants from you. God don't want a person. If God wanted us to be solely what he wanted us to be, he would have just made us that. He gives you the opportunity to even run away. He gives you the opportunity to even worship the devil. He gives you these type of opportunities to see what you're going to turn into. You know what I turned into? A centurion for him. A real Sahaba to my brothers. The real believers, the real people of the Mu'minun. Not just the Muslims. My real brothers, my real Jews. My real brothers, my real Christians. Not just the Christian Bible readers. Of the believers. Of the Mu'minun. Of the people that really submit to Allah. To God, of the people that understand what God really is. They don't corrupt themselves. See, y'all talk about like, well, I ain't marrying because these women is trifling. Yeah, these women are trifling. Everybody is. Have you not seen this world? I am of this world, but I'm not here. This ain't my thing. I will leave here, but when I leave here, I'm leaving here with my head high, held high. Y'all gonna be leaving here on your knees. Soulless. Principleless. When I talked about my case, I talked about people literally there to sabotage my life. That was there to set me up. And it was crazy. I knew I was being set up. Those witnesses ain't going to tell you that I knew I was being set up. The whole time I'm sitting there, I knew I was being set up. It was things I was doing at that time that will prove that I knew I was being set up by somebody. I just didn't know who it was. And anybody that's ever been set up before knows that. They can feel it. They can feel something like, ask anybody that's ever been locked up before, right before they did a big sting and stuff like that. I can guarantee them people gonna say, yo, I knew something was about to happen. I just didn't know what it was. Or who it was. And a lot of them people start killing people. If you look at a lot of the stories and movies, they start killing people and then they found out it was somebody else. Like, it's crazy how life is, but that's what people do. They be like, I know somebody's about to do something. It's probably this person. They kill him. They're like, look at Whitey Bulger's story or somebody like that. They like, damn, it was somebody else. Or like a lot of the mafia people. They know. They can feel it. They can feel it. And one of the things people don't realize is those mafia people stood on principle. So when you stand on principle, you can see the energy. You can see it. You can literally see the energy. My principles are so strong right now. They are so strong. They're so elevated right now. I can see stuff that y'all will never be able to understand. I can see stuff that y'all will never be able to understand, yo. And if I was to explain it to you or tell y'all that, y'all would think I was lying anyway. But it would scare half of y'all. 2025 is a year of revenge. There's not a narrative that you can do to save yourself from this. All of my little, like, people that's ever done me dirty and stuff like that. You can't save yourself from this. You have to experience this. You have to. I had to pay my debt. I did things to people that I had to pay my debt. But you have to understand, when I did my things, which is one of the reasons why the debt that I paid was even though it was more punishment than what I did, it was just. It was just. I will say that. But when you pay your debt, you have to understand this. Everything I did, intention is key. If you don't believe me, intention is key. Every Muslim understands this. Your intention means everything. When you intend to do a good and you do a good, you get 2 good deeds. When you intend to do a good and you don't do a good, because you can't get around to do it or something happens, you just still get 1 good deed because you intended to do good. But if you intend to do bad and you do bad, you get bad. You understand that? When you intend to do a good and you do a good, you get 2 good deeds. And he says, verily, and even if you go through a hardship like I did, you expiate a couple sins, and it says, I want to say it in Arabic. I'll put it up on the screen. فَإِنَّمَا أَوْسِرُ يُسْرًا فَإِنَّمَا أَوْسِرُ يُسْرًا فَإِنَّمَا أُسْرِ يُسْرًا فَإِنَّمَا أُسْرِ يُسْرًا. That means that verily there is 2 reliefs from one hardship. So when you go through bad or when you do good, you get double the reward, y'all. Everything I did in my life, I did good, yo. And I tried to do as straight up as I could. As a matter of fact, I'll even tell you this. Even the people that was setting me up at the time, I tried to do good to them. I tried to do good to them. And they were setting me up the whole time. I wanted people, I wanted to really go into depth at the beginning of my case because I want people to understand that your character is everything. And I want people to understand what I mean by character. Your character and your good deeds mean everything. This world is here to try to corrupt you. Do you understand that? Do you understand that that's what they did to Jesus? You understand that that's what they did to Joseph? They tried to slander them. These people will try to slander you. There's one way you can combat that. By not becoming the monster that you could become to combat that. Because the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he never lied, even when he was telling jokes. He never lied. These people, all they do is lie, and they scheme because they're jealous and they're envious of you, of your heart, of your character. They'll do that. They'll go to other people. They'll say things that are not true or half truth. Why are you going to other people saying that? See, these are things that they won't have receipts and none of that. They're not going to have receipts. And the receipt will be a half truth. They're going to come with a piece of receipt that is a half truth. They want it to fit their narrative. But you know what they're never going to do? Bring that shit in front of your face. They'll never do that. They'll never do that until they have a crowd like they did with Jesus. You know, when they came to lock up Jesus, they had the whole Roman, army and people, centurions to come in and get Jesus. The warriors and all that. To get Jesus. Why'd you come with all that? Why'd you do that anyway? You knew Jesus was a stand-up person. Why you do that? He wasn't even gonna, fight y'all back for real. But you know why he did that? Even Joseph, everybody that these people tried to destroy, they came with unsurmountable odds of people. Let me explain something to you. When I go after who I need to go after, like when I go after my enemy or when I go to be the truth, I don't mean it in a sense of violence. They do, but I don't. When I go to proclaim the truth, to set a record straight or whatever you want to call it. I don't go with multiple people. These are things that you don't need to do. You know what? I go with the truth. I go with the truth. Me and the truth. And I go out, head high, chest out. This is not a pride thing. Because with Allah is the truth. Allah is the truth. He's one. That's one of his attributes. See, he is our truth. He's the truth. Like, he is really one of those things. And when you have the truth backing you up, yo, nobody can challenge that. They're going to scheme behind your back, but they're not going to challenge it. And they all scheme behind your back. They all scheme. That's literally what these people were made for. That's why I say these people are shells or bots. They were made for you to build your character on their sins, on their slander, on their things. You got to understand what these stories really represent. Joseph's vengeance, Joseph's backstabbing of his brothers created Joseph. If it wasn't for them doing what they did, they would have never made Joseph would have never been the prophet that he was. They were there to implement these type of things. They were part of his growth. Everybody that did me dirty was part of my growth, and I thank you for that. Thank you so much. Alhamdulillah for that. Alhamdulillah for Allah giving me that trial for that. And I stayed strong and I stayed true, and I did what I felt. And what I felt Allah was telling me to do, and I did with everything that I read in these books, everything that I was showed was what you would do. Now, have I fell short in some instances? I'm not perfect. Of course I did. But that's part of the half-truth that people they'll run around with the narratives. That's part of the half-truth. See, you got to be able to understand that. That's part of the half-truth. Because they'll see that one little moment where they feel like that they can control the narrative right there, and here they off running with it. And that's not the truth. I'm going to put this up, but I really want to finish this because this is super important so people can understand. Character is extremely important, and I'm going to put that up there. I'm going.